What's up, guys? So I have a licensing opportunity that I like to share with you. And this opportunity is for all members of the Syndicate. Now, if you're not in the Syndicate, just stay tuned to the end of this video and I'll tell you more about what the Syndicate is and how to get involved and how to get in it if you want to. But for now, this is only for Syndicate members. So for those of you in the Syndicate, I'm looking for trap music for a new licensing opportunity that's going to be due March 31st. So you basically have a month and a half to submit your best 5 songs. I'm going to allow up to 5 tracks per composer to submit for this particular album that I'm going to basically be shopping to my contacts to get the best possible deal to eventually get licensing opportunities here in the US and eventually around the world. Now, the idea behind this album is that it's going to be primarily trap music, but it's going to be hyped up sort of promo music. So it can be orchestral, it can be purely just in the trap lane. As long as the music is high energy, up tempo, and just has a lot of adrenaline to it, almost like kind of like workout music, then it's going to do really well when it comes to news promos, advertisements, commercials, anything that needs to get something hyped up. And trap music is huge in the licensing world. So I know for those of you that maybe you don't compose the rock stuff that I've been asking for recently, this might be a better fit for you. And those of you that actually do produce rock and you've never tried trap music, I do encourage you to at least give it a shot. Try one track because you never know. If you've never tried trap music or something that's something like completely outside of your realm, you never know how well you might actually be good at it. So even though you think right now, I don't really do trap music, I shouldn't even watch the rest of this video, I encourage you to do it. At least give it a shot. Try once. See if maybe you can pick up some skills and some talents here in the trap lane. And maybe you can submit some music that'll eventually get yourself some great placements. So I'm going to give you right now some samples, some sort of references that I want you to be looking to. And those references will be in the link below here in the Syndicate post that I'm creating for you guys. So you can listen to these tracks as you need to. But I want to actually just do this through this video to kind of tell you exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to use these 3 different tracks to go through them, and I'm going to point out specifically what it is about these tracks that I like and why they're going to get used in the licensing world over and over again. So if you're going to submit tracks, please pay close attention. I'm basically giving you the cheat sheet here to make sure that you get on this album. So just follow the directions, listen to these references, and make sure that your tracks emulate the qualities that are found in these tracks, okay? So here's the first one. It's called 50 Shades of Trap. I think the track is called Selected here. It's just one that I found on YouTube that I found really had the qualities that I was looking for. And again, you can find this link in the description below here. But let's listen to this track and I'll show you exactly why this song is what I'm looking for this particular album. Just immediately, this track is already setting a pace that there's like a battle coming or a fight coming. It's basically preparing you for some sort of big event, right? And that's what promo music is all about. It's about telling you, hey, something big is coming. There's a big show coming. There's a big NFL game coming. There's a news show that you have to watch because some crazy news is going to be happening. So the energy here is sort of setting a tense build up towards something big happening. So immediately your tracks should have this feeling of like something big is about to happen, right? So that's why I thought this was a great reference track to look towards, to see, you know, play your track and then play this track and see if you have that. It doesn't have to be the same, obviously, key or the same instruments or anything like that. I don't want you to just rip off these songs, but I'm talking about the emotional quality of these tracks that I'm putting out there. That's what you should be paying attention to. What is the emotional content of this track, and does your track contain that same emotional content? Buildups are crucial, absolute crucial to creating a licensable track. You got to have those dynamics of, you know, this track started here and now it's sort of seeing that climb straight to the top where it's going to release into a big chorus, right? You got to include those kind of elements, especially in trap music. And most of you who do produce trap, you know that already. But if you're not familiar with trap, it's all about the buildup. You know, you start at a low kind of, you know, tense moment that's just building towards something, and then you have this huge buildup in any way you see fit, and then you need to have a release, a chorus or a B section that really lets it go. So let's see how they do it with this track. One thing I would have done with that, I wanted like a crash. I want something like, psh, like I need a sound effect or something to just kind of go on the top there. But whatever, subjective stuff here. That chorus is definitely like releasing and coming at you and stuff. So that's what I like about this particular track. And this is a really straight down the middle, just trap track. There's no orchestral elements in it. It's just kind of synths and drums and some vocals and all that kind of stuff, which you can absolutely do something right down the middle, just a traditional trap sound palette, or you can incorporate more orchestral elements, and we'll talk about that in the next example here. So take a listen to this song, see what's going on with it, and if you want to include like those kind of vocal, I think they had it in the beginning here. Those are money. So those little vocal samples they have, I'm not looking for lead vocals, okay? So these are primarily instrumental tracks that I'm looking for, but using those little vocal samples are huge, and they'll make your track sound just, it adds to that intensity, having some human vocal samples in there. All right, let's go on to our next one. So this one is Party Thieves and Instant Party. And this is a track called Savages, or maybe I don't know if the track, I don't know what these titles, if the track is called Savages or the group that created it called Savages, I'm not sure. You hear the cinematic appeal of that. You know, you got those bells and the piano thing and a toy piano sound or whatever. And it's just got this kind of almost eerie, creepy vibe that, you know, and again, but what you probably should notice, and you do already notice, is that there's a tensity there. There's tension already. And it's tensity, I don't think that's a word. Tension is there, and it's building up towards something, right? So your tracks have to have that tension. Absolutely.
Sorry, the number you have dialed is not...
Now the phone sounds and the, you know, your whatever, all these things that are in there with the sound effects, don't put those in your track. We don't need those kind of a thing. But you can hear the buildups that are happening here, right? It's like, yeah, pulls you back down. Rises up and pulls you back down. So those dynamics are what I'm really looking for. And as you can feel, the energy is up, right? It makes you feel like you want to go jump rope kind of a thing. I've just imagine, like, if there's one vibe that I would put into the tracks you're creating is a boxer who's like training for a fight, right? Make sure this song could be played behind the background, the backdrop of a boxer that's jump roping or, you know, fighting his bags or whatever, or doing some sparring or something like that, getting ready for the big fight. That's the vibe that we're going for. So it's almost got a sports appeal to it, but really just hyped up energy, something that's about to happen. Now I wanted to really show you the chorus of this one because it has some awesome, huge horns that I love and do really well, especially for promo music, the kind of music that I'm going for with this album. I love those heavy, aggressive horns like that. And pay attention to how they're mixing these horns, because if you listen to these horns, you'll hear that there's actually barely any low end in them. They've actually cut out a lot of the low thud out of those low horns, so they're actually in the mid to high range. But they're intense and they're really loud, and they're just punching right through this mix. And that sound is huge in the trap world already, but it's also big in the TV world. That sound is definitely very licensable. A lot of people like that sound. It just adds that intensity, and it's like an exclamation mark punching out through the track, and it will probably, and I think guaranteed, get you way more placements adding these kind of orchestral elements in it. So having these horns in there, finding a synth or maybe a sample that has that intense horn stab, definitely money all over the place. And if you need your, just a little, producing mixing tip, if you need your horns to punch through a little bit better, add some distortion onto them. Not so much where it sounds like you're, ruining the quality of the horns, but adding a little bit of a fuzz or a guitar amp or something onto the top end of your horns will add a little bit of that grit that maybe you're missing from your samples that you're using. But make sure those horns, they have that deep intensity. It's definitely going to go far. Last track, most of you have probably heard this. If not, it's from the Suicide Squad soundtrack. So this is Skrillex and Rick Ross. Skrillex basically did this track, and I found an instrumental version of it. So you've heard the vocals. But this, again, has those low stabbing horns that I love. And the energy here is just boom, all over the place. A little bit more kind of a stutter effect he uses in the chorus. But just take a listen. You'll see why I like this track. Now, this is an instrumental version, and obviously you guys know that there were vocals that were on the original track. Because there are no vocals here, it feels like kind of like the beat's a little bit empty, and that's because it probably is in terms of TV film licensing. So even though I want you to listen to this track for its sort of like, emotional quality, I would expect a little bit more going on in a chorus like that. It feels like it's kind of just looping too many times. So maybe on the second half of that chorus, I'd throw in some strings or some pizzicato, something. I'd start adding some new things into a second half of a chorus. So remember, even though you're creating tracks that sound like these, if you don't have vocals, you need the instruments to be taking the place of whatever the vocals would be doing. So vocals kind of help push a track forward because there's new lyrics, every bar basically. There's something new being said. There's a new vocal elements that's pushing the track forward in terms of momentum. But without that vocal element, you got to make sure that you have instruments that are pushing that momentum forward. So your synths, your leads, maybe throwing a guitar in, your horns, whatever it is. Just make sure that every 4 bars, kind of something new and interesting is happening, whether or not the entire track is changing its melodic movement or there's just some new element getting placed on top, some new hi-hat, some new crazy sound effect. I don't know what it is you're going to do. Or maybe the second half of this chorus, you start doing some stuttery vocal effects or something. So you guys are the creative geniuses out there. You guys are the ones that are going to be making all the music. So I don't want to give you, obviously I'll let you do what you guys do best. So I have further notes in the description below, some more ideas. And like I said, the due date will be the end of March. And I'm offering similar terms that I did for the rock/orchestral hybrid album that I did last month. So $50 a track paid to you if your track gets selected. It's an exclusive deal, and I'm basically going to need to have your rights to be able to go out and shop this music to all of my contacts. So do not apply, don't submit your tracks unless you agree to all the terms that I've listed below here on this post, because I don't want you to be doing all this work and then when I send you the contract, when your track gets placed, and then you go, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, I told you from the beginning, these are what the terms are. If you don't agree to the terms, just don't submit. It's that simple. But I can't wait to hear what you guys out there, my trap producers, can do to this, because the rock orchestral stuff just blew me away. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what you guys do here. So best of luck to all of you, and keep up the good work. I can't wait to hear the music that you submit. Now, if you are not in the syndicate and you want to be a part of this project, you want to submit your tracks, you want to see, if you're going to make the cut, as well as get some feedback on your submissions, I will be providing feedback to the people who submit and letting you know, hey, good first stab, but here's what I would change. I'm liking this, I'm not liking that. This would work, that won't work, right? Getting that kind of feedback so that you can improve your production, as well as get access to my production tutorials. I'm always uploading basically every single week new tutorials on how to improve your production, your mixes, your mastering, all that kind of stuff. If you want to get involved with the syndicate, you want to join, click on the link below this video, because this is a group that, I know that I'm offering licensing opportunities to people in the group, but you might not believe me, but that's actually not the best part about this group. It's an awesome benefit to it. It's an awesome feature to it. But the community that you're going to be a part of when you join the syndicate will be unlike any community you've ever been a part of. These are hardworking, serious producers that actually want to do this full time for a living. And I want to help you guys do this full time for a living. So we're all providing positive, constructive feedback on each other's tracks, sharing tips about how to mix your music, how to approach this business in a productive way. We're sharing our failures too. We're saying, here, I tried this didn't work. What do you guys think? So you have this sort of like knowledge base of all these people all over the country in the US trying to do this full time for a living. And I'm here as your sort of, I guess, guide, mentor through the process and trying to help you guys do this as well. So if you don't have that kind of support group in your life, and maybe people around you don't get it, like they don't understand what you're trying to do, or maybe they don't believe in what you're trying to do, I can tell you that will absolutely kill your chances, because you are sort of a summary of the people around you in your life. And if you don't have people around you in your life that can encourage you and provide like motivation for you and give you the sort of like these kind of opportunities that just kind of kicks your butt into gear to say like, hey, go make some music, go try this out, right? If you don't have that in your life, I can guarantee you're just going to dwindle away and not really make much out of your career. Like I said, I made a video earlier on this channel about how January was such a productive month for me and my members. I mean, people were going crazy with their feedback, saying like, wow, like I feel like for the first time, I'm actually on a path towards something productive here. Before, I felt like I was just stabbing in the dark and just making music for fun and didn't really know what I was doing. But now I'm like, I get what this is all about. Like I get why I should be making music a specific way and what I was doing wrong with my previous productions and how I can improve them to actually start making money and actually have an income stream from my musical talent. And that's the kind of feedback I'm getting from my members all the time in the Syndicate. So if you don't have access to that kind of a community of people that care about your success and want to help you out as much as I do, you basically got the world stacked against you, I'm sorry to say. And that's part of the reason why I created the Syndicate, is because before I created it, was one of those kind of out on my own, doing it my own way. And I had, some success, obviously, and I was doing well. But without having that sort of like team of motivated people around me, it's hard to maintain your motivation forever. You do need to be bouncing ideas off of each other and, uploading music and motivating each other and inspiring each other. It's the only way to keep your head in this game for the long run. It does take a lot of persistence and patience, constantly getting up every day and doing this over and over again. So rant over, that's really what this Syndicate is all about. So if you want to learn more about it, click on the link below. It'll direct you to my page. It'll give you more information about it as far as how much it costs to join and what your enrollment options are. Again, I only allow students that enroll in my master course to be a part of the Syndicate, because again, I want you to be serious about this industry. I don't want flakes. I don't want people that are just like, hey, I made 5 songs here, take my songs, license them, and then they just disappear on me. I want people who are committed to doing this the right way. That's the only way. Because you know why? Because that is the only way you're going to succeed, is you have to do it the right way. You have to educate yourself and build your own relationships in this business. You can't look to me or somebody in the industry to be your hookup for the rest of your life. It just will never work out for you. You'll never see success. You can't ride other people's coattails. You have to create your own juice. You have to create your own relationships in this business. And that's what I want to teach you how to do through my master course. And then through the Syndicate, you're going to get further mentorship and guidance and licensing opportunities like this trap music thing. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have any further questions, you know how to get a hold of me, Jesse at musicmakescash.com. Best of luck, and I hope to see you in the Syndicate soon.